my name inside. How'd it go last night?
Let's turn the party out. There, we turned that party out. Let's start another one. How about that? A new party? Yeah. See how it comes up. We're going to start a new party. Awesome. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How's it going so far? How many of you just woke up and rolled in here? Woo! Okay, very good. That's fine. So, well, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for investing in yourself. Thank you online for all who are out there. Especially since we've moved it to, hey, what's up, Will? Since we moved it to Thursdays, it's been tricky for you. I appreciate your patience. And there will be one more team meeting on a Thursday, and then we will go back to Wednesdays. Woo! Hey, okay, very good. Great applause for that. Yeah, so what else can I say before? How about we just jump in and get started? Well, first of all, for those of you who are new, my name is Jamie. I'm the Chief Value Officer here at Keller Williams Realty, and I'm just here representing leadership. And what is leadership? Our leadership team is an amalgamation of all that you need. So all the feedback we get from you, all the things and needs that you have, the different things that you want to learn, things that you need for your business, you tell us and we become that. So that's how we determine what value is what is your value that you need from us. So let's get rolling. What is our purpose? It's very important, especially as you go into 2005, to have your exact purpose, exactly your mission statement for your business. Meeting with Olivia, for those of you who know Olivia, who is our OP and our regional director. I always want to say, our regional manager is what I always want to call her, and I always get her wrong because it's fun to tell her that, because then she gets mad when I call her the wrong one, but then I can never remember what the right one is. So she's the grand poobah of the area. And we got together and it's like, what's the bare minimum basic, roll it up into two short sentences. What do we do with leadership and at this office? Serve agents, impact lives. You don't know it, maybe you do. You impact lives. You impact lives by making choices to consciously do it or unconsciously not to do it. That's impacting the life. Didn't impact the life that you had hoped to impact, that didn't get impacted. So that's a choice too. And we just want to do all we can to help you further your reach, because we want great people in more living rooms. And y'all are great people or you wouldn't be here and in this room and online and in this brokerage if you were not. So all we can do to help you grow and serve more people. And here is our crystal clear goal as a leadership team. And why? Well, to return $1 million in profit share back to y'all, back to us all by in the year 2030. Why is that? It's like, why is your main goal money? This just says everything there is about the culture of Keller Williams. Some will say the culture of Keller Williams is profit share. There are other models out there that I've studied, and what profit share versus revenue share. Revenue share is giving people money before there's a profit. That is cool, yet the company needs to grow. So as we grow, the more money comes back to you guys and all of us that we get to hand down to the next generation and then the next generation. So we take this seriously, and that means, what does that mean? We have a culture that takes care of one another by nature. You bring someone into this awesome office or any other Keller Williams office, and the culture takes care of one another. If you were to have a problem and you saw a top agent walking down the hall, they'd stop for, unless of course they're doing this. You can't tell half the time if people are talking to themselves or what. But if you see that with me, I'm just talking to myself. And that is our goal, and we focus on that, and we're gonna really have a hyper focus on that in 2025. And let's first of all give a round of applause to Amber Hattie. Oh, and a round of applause to Quincy, since he just walked in. Hey, Quincy, all right. Good timing, Quincy. Quincy's around to give tips for great cologne. He's got amazing colognes that I'm jealous of. and I'm gonna have to learn about that. Maybe you could teach a course. So, what do we do this for? What do we do this for? We do this, again, just to remind you that the people that you surround yourself with is important. We're gonna talk about that even further soon. The people you surround yourself with is vital. They need to be buying into the same vision and life that you want. And it's important for you to know the high quality of the people that work here. See, there's more great people than just me. Sorry. And she recently was nominated by one of y'all for being a mom. She's a mom of 5. And she has, I think it's 3 children right now who are going wild in fall baseball, football, and wrestling starting up early for one. So actually I think one of them does all 3 right now. And he can't drive yet, or shouldn't be driving yet. And well, she said he's driving her crazy, but she was able to do all that, maintain her business, and dropped everything when one of her teammates of Soda Home Group needed something. She went right over to where her teammate lives and took care of it, dropped everything that she had. And that's just symbolic, I think, representative of the nature of the people that we have working here. And of course, we like to promote you all to your sphere on social media in this way, because it's important to have a third-party source brag about you. And why should you be bragged about? Because you deserve more business, because again, more quality people need to be in more living rooms than what other options may be. So please let us brag about you. Don't be bashful about that, because it's vital that you are in living rooms. So that being said, as you know, so please let me know of anyone that you may know that would fit. And as you know, Toddy isn't here, but she still has her walk-up songs.
Give me one long laugh, oh bless you. Remember our old tune, I'll be back soon.
She'll be back soon. In case you couldn't catch that. So, November events, there are none. No, look at all the events that we've been able to cross off already. As you know, it's a shorter month in a way, because it's you almost lose almost like a whole week in a way around Thanksgiving. However, we have KW Connectors today. We have a slide for that, and we'll talk about that. As well as Broker Boot Camp, meet with Melissa. There are some brokerages in the area who have one broker for the state. So to be able to sit with a broker, and I mean, let's admit, she's dang fun too. She's fun to be around. So that's a rare opportunity and an awesome opportunity. Please take advantage of it. KW Connectors, this is a safe place for connecting. So what we do is we all meet in a group and we just share different things. There's different challenges in life. There's different challenges as realtors. And we just talk and we share. And it's pretty cool walking away from that, getting to know someone that much better too, and knowing what they're going through. And it's just, you walk away feeling gratitude that, you know, having the empathy from everyone else in there, you know, so it feels good. So highly recommend stopping by that tonight or today after the meeting. Gratitude, potluck, and turkey bingo. This is next week. And those of you who have attended before, it's flipping awesome. It is a blast. So we have the gratitude potluck right after Chad speaks. Chad will be in the team meeting next week. Those of you know Chad Sklzacek. He's just a guy who's, you know, been a pilot, been in construction, been in real estate for a long time. Just a straight shooter. He's a guy I think we all look up to that when we get to know him. Yet he's been through a lot recently. He stepped up and just said, hey, you know what, I'd like to share this so that other realtors may avoid some of these pitfalls. And this being the month of gratitude, I mean, that's how huge is that? So I'm excited not to hear what he's gone through, but to the advice and what he did to get to where he's at today. That's gonna be a good time from that perspective. And then after that, we're gonna celebrate with the food and the turkey bingo. Please sign up for this. We do need to know who's coming. We do need a head count. So please sign up for this. Bring some food. Anything else you want to share? Grace, putting her on the spot.
I think you covered it. Kelly and Jason will be hosting a turkey bingo, which will be super fun. So please sign up here. We need more people to sign up and bring food if you can. So yeah, we'll see you there.
Bingo.
And
Thank you.
Jason has a special shirt to wear.
Oh, If that's not
Jamie,
working.
did you change the time at Turkey Bingo as well?
We have not yet. We're considering moving it up, based on some feedback we got today from so our more southern partners, so that they have less of a gap. They could be here and we could be more efficient using, with their time, because we want not just their input and we want their spirit, right? We want everyone's spirit. And Sherry has a question.
Well, we were just talking about the time, explaining that the potluck is right after the team meeting and then turkey bingo is later.
Perfect.
Is that what
Potluck?
your question, Melanie?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Potluck, and then when we run out of pot to have luck with, we start turkey bingo. Is that fair? Okay, good. So, wait, I gotta sign up. Hope you guys do too. I didn't really do that. We just talked about Chad. Please, let's be there to support this man. Let's be there to support this man. This is a man who will drop everything in the world to take care of anything you need. And so let's support him for his choice of being that vulnerable because he wants to help you. Okay. MREA Book Club. This has been pretty awesome. Melissa said, you know what, we need to get the MRA going again. It is, I don't like to use this word for it, but it's like the Bible of real estate. And there's one thing reading it, and you read it, I've read it like 10 times. Still can't quote anything on it, but I read it like 10 times. Yet sitting down with others and hearing their perspectives, I hope he doesn't mind me saying his name, hearing John's perspective of a lot of the information that was shared and the things that he drew from what he read was really changed the way I even look at the book and look at real estate, so thank you for that. And sorry to put you on the spot. And then we have a coat drive, all November long. I think there's a funky video coming out about that. Yet, please, there's a box in the front office. It's in the front atrium, and by Sherry. And this is a great opportunity to reach out to your sphere and just say, hey, you got any extra coats, you got extra gloves, you got any hats, let's go. And drop by and grab their stuff for them. This is the time of year where you got so many reasons to reach out to people. Not just because it's your business, because it's a great time to be grateful for people, right? Let them know. Let them know before it's too late. Right? You never know. We have photos with Santa coming up on December 7th. And he and Mrs. Claus will be here again this year. So if you have not signed up, please do right there. Anything else you want to add about this, Grace?
Last I checked, there's about 6 spots left, so if you want to promote it out to your clients, get out there now, or if you want to participate yourself. There will also be snacks, treats in here, and a movie going for kids when you're waiting for your time slot.
It's not like bad Santa in the movie. That's really good. Okay, good. It's almost full. I mean, again, why do we do this? When it comes to the 36 Touch program that we've had people come in and teach, you want to have one thing per quarter that you are able to invite your clients to. So as a market center, we need to live up to that, our end of that bargain. So we host things quarterly for you if you're not on a team. So many teams have their own each quarter, and that's awesome. And we encourage that. And it allows solo agents to just plug right in, reach your clients, and we're gonna have a great time, so please. Yes, Kelly?
That KWPR front desk is in the way. That's not working
Oh.
right now.
Are you gonna be able to move the whole desk?
I will move the whole front desk.
Wow, that's a first. Jeez, that's impressive. Thank you, so I'll let this go just a little longer so you can sign up.
Now move his head.
It was also covering for turkey bingo and people, for the potluck, if people were trying to.
Oh.
find out.
I get it.
Okay. Did you just do that, Jason?
Thank you.
All right, so he just did that, there you go, there it is. We can also, we'll put it on at the end as well, if people have to do it. All right. So we have door decorations and holiday programs. Let's have Jenny come up. Here's her walk-up song, our transaction coordinator.
Closing time, every new beginning from summer.
You're going to start seeing some doors decorated. If you want to, please join in. It will just be fun, and especially it was really fun going up with Grace to Hobby Lobby and going shopping. So my door will be decorated hopefully by the end of the day. We're asking that they are decorated by December 1st. So that way, for the Salem visit, they can walk around the hallways and see the different doors. The other thing, the Adopt a Vet Holiday Gift Program. You will see these tags right in the front. What we're asking you to do is to take a tag and then fill out your information and give it to the front desk. So that way we know who is donating what and can keep track of it. They're $50 gift cards. They're going directly to the Hastings VA residents. We will be dropping them off. And it's just a really, really good way to give back to local vets that have helped us. So if you can, please participate. Thanks.
Okay, let's give a round of applause for putting that together. It's amazing. It's so, I wish everyone had a backstage pass to hear Jenny speak about this. It's pretty beautiful. So, vision board party with Misha. Anything you want? I didn't know you were coming up. I don't got a song.
That's why we're in. Nope, I cleaned it.
She's a productivity coach.
So as you can see, I'm trying to talk over his music. We're having a vision board party on December the 4th. It is from 4 to 6 here in our training room. We're gonna have a good time, prepare for 2025 visually. I know a lot of people have done their business planning clinics. This is just a way for you to see it every day, not just numbers, but pictures, and it's fun. And we're gonna have some snacks and maybe some adult beverages, and we're just gonna have a good time. So, if you have magazines or newspapers, anything you want to cut out, bring those. We'll have some supplies, glue sticks, scissors, some poster board. If you want a colorful poster board, like I do, buy your own. But we'll have generic black or white ones. Any questions?
Dollar General has them.
Thank you for the plug for my husband's company. Appreciate you.
Wow, that was impressive.
I didn't even bear.
Thank you, Misha. Let's give it up for putting this on. All right. So speaking to that, just want to share this really quick. So, first of all, I have this friend who started with the alcohol, then did a vision party. I don't recommend that. My wife was looking, my friend's wife was, well, it's this. She says that every day, by the way. Vision board party, just wanted to stop and share something really quick. Why is the vision important? Maybe you're not a vision board person. Why is it important to revisit your vision every day? This is a hiker, right? Mountain climber. He's seeing the peak. It looks pretty high, right? He sees the peak. However, he can see it and he's motivated to get there. Even though whoever gets credit for this picture, you guys get credit for it. However, the study shows that the pack of hikers, mountain climbers, make their least amount of progress on their climb when they can't see, when there is a cloud covering the peak. Okay? Do you feel yourself that way often when you're getting up to work, get going with your clients or your lead gen, and you just aren't seeing the peak? So it's up to us to remind ourselves every day, what is the peak? Also, what do you see here, anybody?
Front desk.
I heard a lot of storm and the front desk. Hopefully there's not a storm at the front desk, Sherry. Well, I see a peak. Okay, it's important each day to remember what your peak is. What is this for you? So that when you see this, you don't just focus only on this. We tend to focus on this, right? It's important to acknowledge it. It's important to prepare for it. But let's focus on this, because you're focused on this, you know that this is going to just go by at some point. So every day, what is your peak? It's a beautiful place to be. What is your peak? Just like this person here, feel you at that peak, whether it's your family, faith, your business, whatever's most important to you. What is your peak? Feel it, write it down somewhere, visit it every morning, and you're that much more grateful to do what you're doing. And with our goal, that's why our leader, Olivia, made sure we had a crystal clear vision of what our peak is with you and for you. So, any questions? Is that pretty clear? So, let's understand by the time we hit 2025 what our peak is. What are our peaks? And let's make sure we take a peek at it every day. Okay. And how about we say welcome to Mike with wow, one-day painting.
He warned me about some walk-up music, but I didn't walk up that way. So I'm Mike with One Day Painting. Thanks for having me over. I really appreciate the opportunity of showing you what the brand is all about. If you haven't seen it before, we have those bright green signs out on lawns everywhere around the market. I'm the owner of the franchise. I've had it since 2014. We cover the entire southwest area from Maple Grove down to Farmington and everything in between. And I also have a franchise partner that's up in Forest Lake that covers the other upper part of the Twin Cities. So One Day Painting, if anyone's not familiar with it, we're a sister company of 800 Got Junk, the blue dump trucks that walk around and drive around and do all those things. But our business model is One Day Painting. Probably about 60% of the time we can get jobs done in a day. I'll go in, I'll measure things out. I'm not the contractor who walks in and says it's gonna be X dollars just because I'm looking at it. I wanna make sure the client knows I'm doing my due diligence in measuring square footage, paint supplies, those things. Give them a fair price, but still make my own money as well. But the reason I want to show this model to you folks is because of the real estate agency, the market, things like that. I mean, most people want to get their projects painted quickly and get it listed, okay? Our goal is to get it painted quickly in a day, but it's also a goal to get it done the right way, because my goal in the end is to get a review posted from that client. So I want to build a partnership up with you folks in finding those clients that are interested in having some painting done. We do everything from exteriors, decks, fences, full exteriors to interiors. We have a shop in Burnsville. We'll do enameling for doors, trim, baseboard, cabinets. We got a big project starting next week up in Maple Grove. We're pulling the cabinets off and doing that for them as well. Again, 60% of the time we can get jobs done in a day, but for those type of projects, we're gonna take a little longer. But I can at least let them know that we're gonna take X number of days and we're not jumping from one job to the next. The team is dedicated to that project until it's finished, okay? We also don't ask for payment up front. We ask for it in the end because, again, my goal is to get a positive review and make sure everyone's happy and then you're happy as well. That's pretty much it, what I have. I just want to give you kind of a snapshot of what One Day Painting is. You'll see the signs up all the time. We have reviews posted. We're in Better Business Bureau. Again, I'm the owner of the business. I've had it since 2014. If anyone's interested in asking questions, I've got some time after lunch. I've got lunch out there for you folks. I appreciate the opportunity. And I do have a couple questions. Does anyone remember the year that I started this business?
2014.
Wow. Okay, let's start this one. First one, raise your hand. Sister company, who is it? The junk people? Are they called the junk people?
There are people that take junk.
800 got junk. Yeah. Brian Scudamore is the founder of the business. So there you go. Yeah. And then I'll make this one. Let's see, which one should I make it easier? What percentage of the jobs can I get done in a day?
60.
I heard that back over there first. Okay, thank you very much, I appreciate it. And we'll have lunch later.
Very well done. That was a stroke of genius.
There you go.
No, right here.
One last thing about this, I did want to share it. I totally blanked out. We talked about it at the ALC meeting today. My lovely colleague Jason brought it up today, that not only did all this stuff we shared is accurate, for people that are mountain climbing, those who go solo see the peak. However, when they have a partner or two or a pack to go up with, in general, they estimate the peak to be 30% lower than if they're by themselves. Y'all are independent contractors. I love it. I have that same spirit. I love that. And plug in here as often as you can and tell us what you want to plug into, because we want you to hit this and we also want you to feel that it's here, because it is when you got the support around you, okay? Where are we at now? I think we got Mr. way up to, so this is a gentleman we've had here before, recently, and so that'd be double cross, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, so here we got Kyle Cross. Welcome him, everybody.
Jamaica. When's the dance party? When's the big dance party?
Started.
Oh, there you go.
KWPR dancers on board.
Please tell me when that happened.
So real quick, before we get started, we talked about something that's important because it's Gratitude Month.
Yeah.
Right? You're gonna feel Kyle's spirit. It's so genuine and real. And I'm sure a lot of it comes from gratitude. He has this adorable 2.5-year-old son. How many? You have 3 kids total?
No, just one, just
Oh,
the
you
one,
said
yeah.
one?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, it's all
All
good.
right. All right.
You're
No
good.
comment. I was gonna make
You're
a
good.
joke. That wouldn't
One
work.
is.
So he's got,
Yes.
and his name is Ellis.
Yes,
And you all found out that he has a hole in his heart.
yes.
And he was going to be here a week ago,
Mhm.
Kyle was, and he postponed. And he was so apologetic, and he was meeting with his son's doctor about what do they need to do. Thankfully, they're gonna put it off 6 months
Yes.
before re-evaluating it. And just real quick before you just tell everyone how's gratitude help you get through this very scary, painful situation?
Yeah,
So far.
yeah, good question. I think, I'm a big believer in the power of gratitude. We have, over our dining room, we have the cross-family values, and one of those values is that we have an attitude of gratitude. And I will say, I haven't always been a person who is good at finding the positive in things. That's something I've had to learn over time. It's a muscle I've had to develop. I'm grateful that it's been something that has become much more natural now. But I share that because for me, it wasn't natural, and I had to work at it to become natural. And I really do believe it can be natural. And it's part of our value system because I think, and I've shared this before here, I think one of the most powerful forms of energy is gratitude. When we're talking about perspective, that's everything. Remember, be careful about the perspective you put on something because that perspective is going to become the label, right? Or for our clients, it doesn't matter what I do. Their perspective becomes my reality. And when we come from a gratitude or a place of gratitude, right, we just are tapping into a higher, in my opinion, a higher level of consciousness, energy, that kind of deal. So, does that answer your question? Jamie? No, I cannot. It's done. It's one and done. We're over.
No, that was outstanding,
Yeah.
and thank you also for being, okay to,
Of course.
I got his permission to share.
Yes.
For being okay to do that, and, those of you who don't know, Kyle is out of the Maple Grove office, he's a KW Maps coach.
Yeah.
And he's also a mega agent himself, and, I think you guys started back in the day when you had a really amazing team leader.
Yeah, Olivia, right?
Named Olivia.
Yeah.
And,
I was coming in as she was going out, but I got to be with her.
oh, your timing was perfect.
Yeah. Olivia, I hope you're not listening.
No, Colin is, he just typed it in. That's okay.
I
she
agree.
knows. And he knows about expectations, boy. So, and the reason, and Kyle agreed to come back too, and one of the things that we've spoken of a lot recently is, especially with the market shift, it's still a seller's market, we can all agree, we follow the roll report every week, and that's a beautiful thing to be able to help us understand, knowing the direction of the market and the speed of the markets. Thank you, Steve, so much. And how are we having those conversations? How do we not only set up the expectations with our clients in advance, and their expectations of us?
Yeah.
And now that it's shifted and we have homes on the market and there's not as many showings potentially right now and such, how do we reset expectations?
Yeah.
And Kyle's agreed to do that, so I'm gonna get out of the way and shut up for actually like a whole half hour.
Love it. Jamie, thank you so much. As Jamie was saying, we're going to be talking about setting expectations. This is critical. This is huge. Because this is the framework upon which the whole experience, both for your client and for you, really rests on, right? So before we dive into this, since it is the month of gratitude, I want to get at least 3 gratitudes. Anybody who has one, you can go ahead and shout it out. We're going to celebrate and share some gratitudes. 3 gratitudes. Yes.
Can I do 2 in 1?
You sure can. We're going to count it as one, but yes, go for it.
Kelly for always letting me come to our office and ask any question that I need an answer to. And to Mary and Jeannie for adding to my earring collection.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. What else? Yes?
I am really grateful for Jenny. I think she's a fantastic person to be at our office, and I love that she's doing her vet program. She's so passionate about everything else and helps everybody.
That's amazing. Yes?
I'm grateful for all
Yeah.
the leadership here and the energy, and I've been in a lot of offices, and this one's the best.
It is. It's a good one. It is a good one. Anybody else want to share? I don't want to cap it off. If there's somebody else has something they want to share. I'm grateful to be, yes.
I will say I'm grateful to all of the new agents we've signed up in the last 2 months or so. Because you normally would be serviced by a far better agent services coordinator, but I appreciate you allowing me to experiment on you over the last 2 months. Almost every one of these experiments has been successful. So, and if they weren't successful, you're not here. So you got that going for you.
It's Jamie's fault if it wasn't.
Blame it on Jenny. So thank you. Appreciate your grace.
Yes, yes, I love it. You guys have a world-class staff. Lean into that. Listen to what they're saying. This is not the norm. Period, across all real estate industries and companies, and even to some degree within Keller Williams. This is not the norm. So I want you guys to know that as I travel, as I talk. This is certainly not the norm in a good way. So please understand that. I'm grateful to be here. Thanks for having me. I want to be upfront. My teaching style isn't to just sit here and talk. I don't like that. I believe that there's a wealth of knowledge and expertise in this room. So there's going to be parts of this where I'm going to be asking you to engage. If you're good with that, go ahead and raise your hand. Awesome. Everybody's here. We love it. We're talking about expectations. Before we start, to get the energy up, I want you to give somebody a high five near you and say, "You're looking sharp today." It's a good-looking group. High five somebody else and say, "You got this. You got this.
You got this, brother. You got this. You got this. You may not have it then, but you got it now.
Last one. Somebody else. High five them and say, "You do you, boo." I really want to try it. I'm gonna have to figure out how to write it in after that.
He's not a boo.
So expectations. This is a critical piece. This one go next one. Yeah. So question to you all. Expectations, the conversation of expectations. I'm asking you all, why is this important? Give me your feedback.
Clear communication.
Clear communication. Love it. Yes, what else?
Setting the tone.
Setting the tone. Ooh, good. I like that one. What else?
If you have expectations that you're winning, that you're creating momentum to carry it even further and set even bigger goals and achieve even bigger things.
Love it. So good. Yes, Jason.
Maybe a little bit slightly, but related with unmet expectations are the biggest barrier to success in any relationship. So without expressing them and gaining agreement, you're setting yourself up for a recipe for disaster.
100% agree with you, and that applies to just relationship periods, right? Like, not even just real estate relationships, marriage relationships, dating relationships, friendship relationships, right? Really good. Yeah, what else? Want everybody to have a chance here, if you got something. This is your feedback too. So I'm looking for your feedback here. Because what I'm gonna do, we're gonna go through this, I'm gonna give you my rules, like this is how I do it, but I wanna make sure this is resonating with your business in this market. So my question is, and this is again, some boldness and transparency from you all, what challenges in this market right now are you specifically experiencing when it comes to setting expectations? If I were to shorten that up, what challenges are you experiencing with setting expectations? Does that make sense? All right. Give me some feedback so I can tailor this a little bit to you guys. What are we seeing? What are we feeling out there? Yes?
Pricing, really having a set expectation of what we will need to do with days on the market and pricing.
Yeah, and what is the challenge as you're sitting down across the table or wherever, right? What is the deeper challenge that you're finding in the business with that expectation or conversation?
Well, it's the not knowing, because everything's different, and every week is different. So it's a matter of just constantly giving them updates, and this is what's happening, so many showings we have, and helping them understand that we need to do something in order to spur that.
What's your name?
Michelle.
Michelle. So Michelle, if I'm hearing correctly and summarizing, would it be educating the buyer from where they think the market was to what it is now? Is that summarizing it a little bit?
I was thinking more on the seller's side.
Oh, the seller side? Yeah, sorry. Seller side of things, specifically price, right? But it's an education thing. We're educators. We're counselors. We're therapists. We're gurus of so much. Thank you for sharing, Michelle. What else? What other expectation challenges are we running up against? Anything? Okay. Oh, yes.
I just think that buyers just have seemed very non-committal this whole entire fall.
Yeah.
So that's been hard to wrap my head around. Normally it's a pretty good market in the fall.
Yeah, I mean, I am a listing agent, and my wife who does the buying side, we're running into that all the time. We'll wait till then, or it's always this little kick the can down the road. I shouldn't say always, but a lot of times, right? All good feedback. Okay, here's what I had. Importance of setting expectations. When we set expectations, we know the rules of the game. I'm a huge sports guy. I love competition. Literally football, basketball, golf, tennis, on my bucket list is Wimbledon, PGA, all this stuff. But for those of you who watch sports, there's a specific time you play, usually a specific amount of time that you play. There's a boundary, there's rules, there's guidelines in order to win, right? And you have to do certain things in order to win. And this is really what we're going to be talking about, is what are the guidelines, 3 steps that I use in order to win when setting expectations? What are the boundaries? What are the guidelines? So 1, rules to win the game. We know how to win with the client. Somebody mentioned that. I think it was my friend here in Iowa State, sure. When we understand what winning looks like, it empowers us to just crush it, right? We know how to, I did that wrong. We know how to lose with the client. We know how to, what I should say is we know how not to lose with the client. Sometimes on a listing appointment, I'll say, how do I win? And I will also say, how do I lose? Because you could probably assume that winning means not executing on the thing they just said win. But when you ask how to lose, sometimes there's 2 different answers. So I would encourage you to ask, how do I win? How do I lose? We set the standard for communication. Somebody else said that. You guys are a sharp group. For communication, process, anything else. And it creates, I think somebody else said this again, creates common ground and agreement. This is a relationship. My perspective is, from gratitude speaking of, that we have the privilege of doing real estate. We have the privilege of working with clients. And part of that is that this isn't a transaction, it's a transition and a major point in somebody's life, right? And so to know that they have a professional like you, who's knowledgeable, who's experienced, who's gonna look out for their best interest, that is a relationship. How many of you have built relationships outside of you did a transaction and that relationship has continued and it's been a fun, how many of you have had it? 100%. At this point in my career, I have literally probably friends in every state of the country. And it's fun, I enjoy it. I didn't get into real estate for that, but when we take care of people, which this office is good at, right? What happens is we create common ground, much beyond real estate. Is that all making sense? First of all, winning starts with the night before. So every night before I go to bed, I'm putting my to-do list together. I'm getting everything prepped. So this morning, I didn't even have to do anything. I walked in here, I was fully ready to go. Those who are successful, more often than not, I have found that they prep the night before to be successful the day after. You've heard it somewhere it's here, perfect practice makes perfect. I hear people say practice makes perfect. I disagree. How you show up, the level of intensity and focus that you bring is going to determine the outcome, for sure. So what's that level? I wrote this question here. If you were to go on, and this won't apply to you, but let's just theoretically go here. If you, in 2025, were to go on one listing appointment and one buyer appointment, how intentional would you be about nailing that appointment? Everybody would be like, this is mine, right? What if you took that level of focus, that level of preparation, that level of intensity, that level of professionalism to every single appointment you went on? What would your conversion percentage do? Up, down, stay the same? Oh, for sure. So, I mean, everybody would be calling Preferred Realty, say, what are you guys doing over there? That's insane, right? I found that luck follows those who do the work. Let me share a little bit about my experience as a realtor. I'm starting my 12th year in real estate now. I have a small team. 2023, we're number 8 and number 9 for volume and units closed, real trends. I'm a MAPS coach, as you know. And I don't say these things because, like, look at me and what I've done. It's quite the opposite. If you would have told me I'm here now doing this, I never probably would have believed you. Because, and I say this because the reality is most of my career was work. It was hard. It was a challenge. I made mistakes. I doubted myself. And I say that because it was work. And I think in this market, sometimes it feels like work, and that I want you to know that's probably somewhat normal. Like, success comes from time on task over time. And I just share that because sometimes we think, well, so-and-so is lucky, or they got a lucky break. My experiences, they're willing to put in the work, and they did the work. They did the prep. They did the accountability. They got a coach. They did all these things, right? And all of those little things add up. First step when it comes to setting expectations, and I want to be conscientious of time here, is really getting deep into their motivation and their pain. If you guys are not feeling comfortable, well, first of all, if you're not going in terms of what's their motivation and what's their pain, if you're not going there in conversation, or if you're not feeling comfortable in that, please practice that. Get a practice partner. Talk to leadership. Get together as a group. Because the level at which you are able to dive into their motivation and or pain will determine a lot. The quality of questions you ask will determine the quality of the answers you get. Well, yeah, duh, Kyle. No, but seriously, are you practicing asking good questions, and are you practicing listening well? These are very critical skills. The quality of answers you get will determine the level of expertise you are able to give. I didn't put this on there, and it just popped out to me, but the quality of service you are able to give, I want you to fill in the end of the sentence for me. The quality of the level of service you are able to give determines, fill it in for me.
Quality of the referrals you receive.
Quality of the referrals you receive.
Quantity of your compensation.
Quantity of your compensation. What else? Good answers.
Quality of your reviews.
Yep, referrals, reviews. The lifeblood of our business, right? Raving fans is another way of putting it. Like, I would absolutely go with no one else but you. Here's my cousin, here's my friend, here's that, right? The quality the answers, or excuse me, the questions that we ask is going to determine to some degree how well we're able to connect and set expectations. Is that making sense? So what questions are we asking? What is causing you to want to sell and buy? They may say, we want to, our family is expanding, we need a house to expand with, we need more space. Okay, so let's take that example. Why is having more space important to you? Right? We're gonna take that motivation and we're gonna keep going and going and going and drilling deeper. There used to be a thing called 3 deep. I believe in that. Sometimes we have to go deeper. Sometimes we have to go deeper. So what is causing you to want to sell or buy? Why is that important to you about blank? How will that make you feel? I think this is an important question because for those of you who have done the DISC, there's so many different personality styles. For the people who are more feeling-based, sensing-based, this acknowledges them, right? These first 2 questions are more like the D's, right? The D's and the C's where it's like objective, that's me. Like I like straight facts, give me the facts. These questions apply to me and resonate with me. My wife, she's a high sensing, she's a high feeling person. And it's not right or wrong, it's just who she is. This is the question that connects with her. We're asking these questions intelligibly to connect with our audience in a way that relates to them. Is that making sense? Last question. What is significant? What is the significance of that? Or what is significant about that? We're getting them to verbalize for you, so you understand, but also we're getting them to verbalize, because sometimes they haven't even thought this all the way out. Like how many of you have been on a listing or a buyer appointment and you're asking these questions and you can tell that they're like having this self-revelation as they're going, show of hands if that's been the case, right? Right, it's like, that's why it's like sometimes we're like counselors. It's like, there you go. And they're like, that was amazing, thank you. I mean, you really, and it's true, right? But we're just asking these questions to help them self-realize. Pain. I think it's important to ask the other side of this. So what happens if you don't get that house that has more space and you're crammed? Well, the stress level is through the roof. I can't even imagine, right? How would that make you feel? It's not an option, right? And really, that last question, sometimes I'll ask this, is that really an option, right? Because certain people are going to resonate more towards the motivation side of it. Some people are going to resonate more towards steering away from pain. And that's where you just got to use your intuition, your realtor intuition, your person intuition, all of that. Any questions so far on any of that? Yeah. So you've established through questions what the motivation and the pain is. Next phase is the expectation conversation. So a lot of times I'll ask a question somewhere around this line of reasoning. As your professional realtor, I'm assuming they're going to hire me and I'm distinguishing myself in word as a professional. This is very intentional. As your professional realtor, what qualities are most important to you? This is critical. They're going to give you an answer, so ask the question, and even if you're nervous, don't say anything. You gotta be comfortable being quiet, because they're gonna answer that, and that is the exact answer to make sure that you got what you need to win with them. Next question, okay, how do I win with you? What makes this a world-class 5-star experience for you? What are your communication expectations of me? And also, remembering that as we talked about, their perception becomes our reality. So we want to be intuitive to what they're saying and what they're seeing. Any ahas or thoughts on this before I move on? I know I'm flying pretty quick for the sake of time. A lot of notes going on. Possible answers when it comes to what are you looking from me, or what are you looking for from me? I'm looking for a local expert. Communication is critical. Okay, talk to me. When you say communication, what form? How often? What does that look like? Marketing. Negotiations. I want somebody who's a bulldog. Great, let's talk about that. Experience, pedigree, ease of process. This isn't exhaustive. What are some of the other things that you're hearing when it comes to this is what I'm looking for? Yes.
I think a lot of people look at all these things that are on the list.
Yeah.
And expect that everybody can do those.
Yeah.
And what I tend to get when I ask those questions, very simple answers. I want you to look out for me.
Yeah.
And I want you to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Integrity.
Yep.
Should add that in there. Honesty, integrity, character, right? What else? What else are we hearing that's not, what's not on here that you're hearing in answers that people are looking for? Anything? This is going to be unique to the people that you're talking to. And if you have a couple, they might answer this differently. So make sure that you're not assuming it's the same, you're asking each person, right? Because I've made, again, mistakes, right? I've made the mistake, I ask somebody, they answer, and then I move on. And then I find out later, like, well, that was important to that person. Well, it wasn't important to that person. And it's, I mean, everybody, to your point, sir, everybody wants to be represented well. So, what's their definition of well? What is the specific things? And sometimes I'll have them rank it. What's 1, 2, and 3? What is your top priority for me to execute on? What's the second and what's the third? Seriously, sometimes I will literally sit there until they define it. And it's awkward sometimes. Well, I mean, it's not awkward, but I'm willing to sit in silence until they answer the question. Because when I know that, now I know exactly what to do to make them a raving fan, not just now, but into the future. Is that making sense? Good. Just some kind of general thoughts. Are you a generalist versus a specialist? We are in a very competitive market. We've got to distinguish ourselves from our competition. So Jamie was sharing I went to a cardiologist, right? I'm not going to send my son who has a heart issue to a generalist. That doesn't make any sense, right? I want a specialist. I want the specialist, ideally, right? Are you the specialist when it comes to buyers, when it comes to sellers, when it comes to Burnsville, when it comes to luxury, when it comes to mobile homes? I don't know what it is, but somehow you're going to want to distinguish yourself from everybody else as the specialist. This is both an art and a science, so there is a technical side of like practicing, prepping, all the stuff. And there's more of the soft values of, am I listening well? Am I asking you questions? That is more the artistic side of what we do. This is, and again, this is my personal opinion. You don't need to espouse this. You don't need to agree to this. But in my opinion, being fully humble and being fully confident goes a long ways to creating rapport with the people that you're working with. And I'm sorry, I'm probably in the way of my friends over here. I apologize. And as I said earlier, we get to do real estate. We don't have to do it. I mean, if we wanted to, we could switch professions. I'm not going to because I love it. But it's good to come from a place of gratitude. Like, can I be transparent? Yesterday, I was teaching at Union Gospel Mission, and on the drive there, I was just kind of walking through my class in my mind, and had this moment. I'm like, wow, what a privilege it is for me to own my time, that I can just go and volunteer, or I can just pour into people. I don't have a 9 to 5 that like I have to, all right, clock in, clock out. And if that's you, I'm not saying that's wrong. Please hear me on that. But me and my wife started 10 years, 12, close to 11 years ago saying, we want to own our time. We want to be able to give back to the community. And now it's like this aha moment of like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm doing. What a privilege, right? I'm gonna go through this real quickly, but value, again, their perception is our reality. Value cannot be given, it can only be received. I can only give value if the person that I'm talking to wants to receive it. Our value as realtors lies in the ability to bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be. And to that point, are you their best option? Them signing that contract is dependent on them in their mind saying, will this person care for me? Yes. Will this person look out for my best interest? Yes. Is this the best person to execute on this transaction, this process, this transition? Yes. That's when you get the contract signed. Last part, number 3, is close the deal. It's time to get it done. Get the paperwork. So a lot of times I'll get to this point and I'll just say something like, great, thanks for sharing. I'm excited, I'm assuming, I'm excited to work with you and partner together, because this is a partnership. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about so far that would keep us from working together? And sometimes they'll bring it up. Well, no, we weren't planning on signing paperwork. Okay, so with that, is there anything else beyond that? Well, we need some time to think about it. Great, you want me to step out for 5 minutes so you can have a private conversation? I can do that, that's no problem. I'm going to need to be bold enough to ask either this question or a question like that. It's got to be your question. You got to feel it, right? It's got to come from your spirit. You got to feel confident in it. But you're going to have to ask a question, because if we don't ask that question, my experience is sometimes there's things in the back of their mind that they're thinking about that hasn't been verbalized because I didn't ask the question, and so they're hesitant. Or they don't sign the paperwork. And then what goes with that is obviously you're going to have answers for if they say, well, what about the commission? Well, what about the marketing? Well, what about this? Okay, so if we were able to take that off the table, is there anything else that would cause you to be hesitant right now? No, I don't think so. Okay, well, let's talk about that. We good? Most of you probably know Jeff Glover. He says, and I don't know where he gets this, and so I haven't verified it, but it sounds legit. He says that if you go on an appointment and you leave without paperwork, your chances of getting it are 50% less. So you have a 100% chance, you leave 50. You have 75, leave 25. You've done all the work, you've prepped the night before, you've mentally gotten in your go mode, and then you've driven out, you're gonna drive back, you might as well, in my opinion, just get the paperwork, right? You spend all that time, because time is money, right? I don't want to have to drive out again and go through this again. You might as well just close it on the spot. And then, I'll close it somewhere like this. Now that we know our strategy for success, next step is paperwork. Let's go through the paperwork. Simple as that. All right, your thoughts. When it comes to implementation, I want you to take a moment. This is for you to reflect, and we'll talk about it. What is your main takeaway from this training? Take a moment and think through it. Jamie, we're done on 11? Excuse me, 12?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I might be a minute or two
We
past.
never bleed over.
Yeah. Well, I want to be respectful of
No,
people's time.
if it does, you're good. I'm hearing some.
Second question, however you answer question 1, how will you implement this into your best practices? How am I going to systematize it? Boy, time goes quick, doesn't it? Jeez. Last question. How will you hold yourself accountable to the prior? And Anybody wanna be transparent, bold, courageous, and share?
I liked how you went through the closing the deal and not leaving. And just keep going back to what their wants were and how we can do it.
That skill done really well is gonna get you a crap ton of business. When I was brand new in the business, I didn't know this at the time, but I was brand new, like I was brand new, didn't know what I didn't know. And in some ways it was kind of a good thing because I would go into competitive situations. You know, back then I looked like I'm 12 years old. And I'd ask these questions, I would just sit there. Okay, is there anything else that would keep us, is there anything else? And it was kind of maybe sometimes awkward because I was literally not gonna leave until I got the contract. And later, you know, I would figure out, they were talking to some guru that's been in it for 20 years, that's the specialist in them. And I'm not saying like I'm so great, I was just persistent. I just nailed that, right? Like if you were to do all of this, or if you were to nail one thing, I would say, nail that closing. That's it. Like you got it right there. So thank you for sharing. What else? Yes, Jason.
I really appreciate your discussion on pain. I think it's really easy for most people to talk about the motivations.
Yeah.
But that discussion about what would happen if you don't do this is an important discussion that we don't get to enough.
Yeah. And probably, well, I'll come to you. Probably to some degree it's because it's uncomfortable and we're uncomfortable. Well, Jason says, we're busting at the seams. We're pulling our hair out. Our kids are frustrated. If I don't dive into that question, I don't know. But also, here's the beauty of it. It creates a place for me to empathize. Jamie, here's the deal. I'm all in. Like your family, I'm gonna treat it like it's my family, and I wanna get you into that house. So I feel your pain empathetically. We're gonna figure out a strategy and a plan to make sure that that's not an ongoing thing, right? How do you think Jason feels after that? Heard, validated, appreciated, right? And if we're not willing to go there, and you don't have to. This is all my personal opinion. This is up to you. This is your business. But in my opinion, we're missing an opportunity for a connection, an authentic, organic, genuine connection. Is that making sense? Yes, there was another.
This is great, and I think it's wonderful for listings and buyers and that kind of thing, but I've kind of put a whole outline together already. It's helped me I have a listing that's been on the market for a long time. We've done many price reductions. Yeah. It's sitting there, it's not getting showings and that kind of thing. And I've got a whole little outline with a lot of those questions to sit down with them and have another face-to-face and try to figure out where we're gonna go from here.
That's a great point. This doesn't have to just be a buyer consult or a listing consult. This could be the re-up, like the market has shifted. As we were talking earlier, here's the education point, here's the actual statistics in light of this and these questions, what's the path forward, right? Very good. Anybody else want to share? I think we're good.
Yeah, I have a quick thought too.
Yes,
that pain piece comes in pretty handy too. I'd imagine if they're having cold feet when it comes to the inspection.
Yeah.
Or a price reduction.
Yeah.
I really wanted that. I envisioned I have 5 years left with my kids, being a young age. We really want that pool to enjoy.
Absolutely.
Well, then we need that price reduction so we can get into that next profit.
Yeah. Right. You're exactly right, Jamie. 100%. Yeah, it's good.
Right. Well, first of all, as you guys know, we like to point out, when you hear leaders in this company, and Kyle's a high, fast rising leader, you see it as genuine, right? He's authentic. So I just think that's a huge thing to take away. So let's give him a round of applause. There are tons of notes, tons of pictures taken. Do I have your permission to send the slides out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And if there's further questions, people can reach out to you if they want me to expound more on some of this as well. So that's what I'm here for.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you all for investing in yourselves. Thank you all online, and we have connectors here in 30 minutes, and we have lunch. So thank Mike for painting us a nice meal, and thank you all. Appreciate it.